Hello, 8-year-old class. We are reading Mrs. Dole is Out of Control, Chapter 3, The Good Old Days. Okay, if you remember the last time, Mrs. Daisy came back to school and we were going to get her bonbons. Bonbons are these little chocolate treats. You've probably seen them, but they're. And then we found out um, Mrs. Dole is the new Parent Teacher Association president, I think, PTA president. Now, here we go. What does that little asterisk mean again? Does anybody remember? The little star right there? That means there's a footnote. And when we get to the star, we go down below and read this stuff here. Below that line, that's called a footnote. All right, here we go. Mrs. Daisy came into our reading teacher, Mr. Mackey. They were holding hands and making goo goo eyes at each other. Ugh! Disgusting! Mr. Mackey said he would meet her in the teacher's lounge at lunchtime. Mrs. Daisy and Mr. Mackey haven't been married very long. That's why they're so mushy with each other. Once they've been married for a few years, they'll stop doing all that mushy stuff. My parents have been married for like a century, and they hardly ever do mushy stuff. Are you sick, Mrs. Daisy? Asked Emily. Mr. Klutz told us you went to the doctor. It was just a checkup, she replied. Let's go to work. It's time for our word of the day. Today's word is unique. What does that mean? Asked Michael. I have no idea, said Mrs. Daisy. Who doesn't know anything? Does anybody know what unique means? Andrea stuck her hand in the air, of course. Little Miss I Know Everything keeps a dictionary on her desk so she can look up words and show everybody how smart she is. But Mrs. Daisy called on me instead. Unique means furniture that's really old. I said, my mom has a unique table. Everybody laughed, even though I didn't say anything funny. That's antique, dumbhead, said Andrea. Well, that wasn't very nice of Andrea to call me a dumbhead. Huh. Unique means something that's one of a kind. And I got something right here on my desk that's one of a kind. His name is Oliver. Say hi, Oliver. Hi, Oliver. All right. That's unique. It's something that's one of a kind. Oh, snap, said Ryan. I knew it. I lied. But a really old piece of furniture, that's one of those kind that's unique. It's a unique antique. Nah, 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 boo boo on Andrea. In her face. No wonder I'm in the gifted and talented program. After we finished our word of the day, it was time for writing. I hate writing. The second year is almost over, Mrs. Daisy said as she passed out pieces of paper. Let's write about our favorite memories of second grade. Mrs. Daisy told us to close our eyes and remember some of the nice things that happened since September. Remember the time Mrs. Rupee dressed up like Johnny Appleseed, said Andrea. Yeah, we all said Mrs. Rupee is loopy. Remember the time when we went on a field trip and Mrs. Doctor ate a bug? Asked Ryan. Yeah, Mr. Docker is off his rocker. Ha ha ha. Remember the time when we drove that substitute teacher, Mrs. Todd, crazy and she ran screaming into the parking lot? Michael asked. Yeah, Mrs. Todd was odd. I couldn't decide if I should write something about the time Mr. Klutz was hanging from the flagpole or the time Neil, the nude kid's ferret, pooped on Emily's head. Remember the time when we had a food fight in the vomitorium? Neil asked. Yeah, that was great. I must admit, even though I hate school, we had some fun in second grade. Those were the good old days, I said. Remember the time we had a sleepover in the Natural History Museum and a giant hissing cockroach crawled into Emily's sleeping bag? That happened last week, Arlo, Andrea said. So did your face, I told her. Mrs. Daisy said she had to go to the ladies' room and that she would get started writing while she was gone. As soon as she left, I crumpled up a piece of paper and threw it at Andrea. You are so immature, Arlo, Andrea said. Maybe you'll get held back. Ha! I asked. What do you mean, held back? Didn't you know, Andrea said, they take the bad kids and make them repeat the grade all over again. You're a bad kid, so you might be held back. What? Could they really do? Could they really do that? If I had known they make kids repeat a grade, I wouldn't have done so many bad stuff. Oh my gosh! And that is chapter 3. See you soon.